I wanted to explain to you about my four elements, four directions spread that I am doing right now as an email. But you can do it yourself. You know, you're my people. You all are readers. I completely trust your ability to interpret your own cards. You know, sometimes you want a second opinion, or sometimes you want an outside voice. That's cool. But you totally can do this, and you know it. So the spread that I'm using as we go into Yule and as we go into the dark hermiting season, the contemplation time, the hearth time, the gather around the fire and think the deep thoughts time, is called Four Elements, Four Directions. Self-explanatory. The first card I like to put in the north. I don't know why I just start in the north. I think it's because it's the element of earth. I'm an earth sign. I always like to be grounded before I do anything. So the first card goes in the north. Second card in the east. Third card is in the south. And fourth card is in the west. Now, I like to think about this as the north grounds me, the east inspires me, the south motivates me, and the west blesses me. I think it's an easy way to remember, to have an anchor for each direction. So when we're talking about the north, and in this practice spread that I drew for no one in particular, I didn't call in any energy. This was just like sort of flip some cards for an example. But this is how I would read this. So what grounds me? And in the Druidcraft deck, the devil is Cernunnos. Cernunnos? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Cernunnos. But it's the devil card. In the Druidcraft deck, it has a little different meaning. It really is the call to responsibility. And you can often see how the devil card indicates maybe some of our distractions are at play. Some of our addictions, some of our obsessions, some of our shadow work, some of our overindulgences. And this card in the Druidcraft deck really calls us to the responsibility of the moment. So in the dark times, as we go into the slower months, the colder months, the more drawn in tight to our energy months, what grounds us is this sense of responsibility, this sense of responding to ourselves with meaningful work rather than distractions and stuff that really drains our energy more than it restores it. Or it doesn't do anything. We're status quo all winter long. We've done no internal work. Then we're thrust into that outer season again, and we're not prepared for it. So the East, what inspires me? And I have the Seven of Swords reversed here. What inspires in the Seven of Swords reverse? It's a little confusing message, and it could be interpreted in many different ways. Right off the top of my head, I am thinking, you're inspired by the truth. You know, nobody's getting away with anything here. You're not fooling yourself one bit. You are being precise with the honesty here. You're bringing some focus to it, some dedication. The reversal tends to lend me to that inspiration that's born out of the blockage. So maybe you've been fooling yourself about something, and this is bringing you to a different understanding. That can be very inspiring. it sometimes is painful. Most of the swords messages are. And one thing about the swords is that it's sort of, we make up a worse story than it really is. The swords are sort of our worst case scenario that we make up in our mind. And remember, the sword that comes after the 7 is the 8, which is the card that is the prison of our own making. So if you're not getting real with yourself and you're continuing to let yourself believe that you can get away with not doing the work of hermiting season, you might not get the results you want. So then we have what motivates us. And what I have in that spot for my example is the King of Pentacles. So what motivates us? In this situation, I would definitely go to financial mastery and security. What motivates, the pretend querent here is that they want to be masters of their resources rather than being dragged around through their financial and physical plane existence. So that's an incredible motivator. I like the way the fire is burning so brightly back here. Pentacles is not a suit that's associated with fire. So I think it's very interesting it showed up in our example here. And definitely in this spread in the South, I would be drawn to any elements of fire. And then we've got what blesses us. And what I have here is the High Priest or the Emperor from traditional tarot. And look, he's got like the party on. And what blesses us is reaping the rewards of responsibility and telling ourselves the truth and doing the financial groundwork so that we can feel more stable in our existence. And so this is the culmination almost. What blesses you is a culmination of all of the 3 that have gone before. So that's just a little example of this spread that I like to use. I'm going to be using it in an actual in real life event that's going on at Spirit Wings on November 17th, where we're going to be doing readings and massage, processing your path. And what I'm going to do then is have my Druid plant deck out. I'm just going to spread it out on the table and let people come and choose a card after they've had their reading and their massage. And then they can choose a card and just journal on it following the treatment modality. So if I was going to pick a card for our pretend querent, I've got garlic. And what I know to be true about garlic is that it is an incredible antibiotic, a natural antibiotic. It helps your immune system function better. So think about that in the context of all 4 of these. And at the event, surely I will come and help people, put it together if they need a little hurdle help. But the question I would pose for them to write and reflect on is, what is your inoculation against anything intruding on your process, your path? What keeps you immune to the things that wear you down? What keeps you from, reaping the good harvest? So I just wanted to give you a little insight into this fabulous spread. It's called 4 Elements, 4 Directions, or 4 Directions, 4 Elements. I don't care which way around. And I love it. It's one of my go-to spreads for shorter readings. I do these at psychic martini parties. I do these for events when I'm doing little mini readings. So try it out and tell me what you think.